WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5.
We're nearly 24 hours away from the rivalry football game between Michigan and Michigan State at Spartan Stadium. And as many of you know, the game is worth much more than just what's happening on the field. It's our top story at 5. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. Saturday will be the 118th meeting between the Spartans and Wolverines. 6 News Sports Director Ian Kress is joining us now live in the studio for more on the matchup. How's it going, man?
It's going well. Tomorrow is expected to be one of the best Saturdays of the entire year here in the state of Michigan. And the 7:30 p.m. kickoff means it's the 4th straight year the battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy is going to be a night game. Michigan has won the last 3 games in this rivalry and took down MSU 49-0 in the last game that was played at Spartan Stadium between these two teams back in 2023. Michigan State's last win over the Wolverines was in 2021 when Kenneth Walker III ran for 5 touchdowns. MSU sophomore wide receiver Nick Marsh was at that game in 2021 for a recruiting visit and is one of many players on both sides of the ball who didn't feel and know the intensity of this game until they played in it.
I didn't really understand how big the rivalry was. I understood, but not being in it though. So actually playing in that first game, getting some bad calls, getting some holding calls. I felt like I probably got held in coverage a couple times, and just seeing how they play football. It kind of helped me understand what this rivalry really is.
I definitely say the intensity is turned up a little more for that game on both sides, our side and their side. A lot of emotions go into it. But just things like that is just something that kind of sticks out.
And similar to Marsh, MSU quarterback Aiden Childs got his first taste of the rivalry last year, and he said this week it was way more intense than when he was a part of the Oregon State rivalry a few years ago. So let's hope for a lot of fun and an intense game tomorrow night. Jorma, we'll send it back to you.
Ian, thank you very much. Michigan State takes the Battle of Paul Bunyan seriously, showing Spartan pride by not only repping green and white, but protecting the campus. Days before the big game, students actually guard a well-known spot on campus, keeping an eye out for Wolverines. 6 News reporter Delaney Rogers is live now in the studio to tell us about this long-time tradition. Good afternoon, Delaney.
Jorma, every night the week of the MSU versus U of M football game, members of the Michigan State Marching Band guard the Spartan on campus. They brace the cold from 8 p.m. to midnight, and it's a tradition called Sparty Watch. For many students, the Spartan statue represents strength and a rich history. The tradition to watch over him has been around since the 70s, making sure the statue remains untouched by Michigan fans as they come to campus for the big game. Members of the marching band say they take the role in keeping guard seriously, being vigilant over who gets close to Sparty and what school colors they are repping to make sure no one vandalizes the statue.
It's definitely gotten more electric as the week has gone on. It has been so much fun seeing people, especially if somebody walks by wearing yellow or too dark of a shade of blue. Everybody kind of gets tense and stares at them until we see them not walk towards the statue.
Really, we're just out here making sure that Sparty stays protected during such a important week for not only the university but for the team and just overall campus morale.
Marching band alumni will be watching Sparty tonight ahead of the football game. And students tell me they encourage people to say hello or cheer if you walk by or drive by the statue. Back to you.
Delaney, thank you very much. It's not every day Spartans and Wolverines run side by side, but every year before the big game, rivals team up for something much bigger. 6 News reporter Sean Graney is here for you now, live in the studio with how a powerful tribute to one MSU student continues to inspire unity across campuses. Good evening, Sean.
Jorma, Alex Powell may have lost his battle to cancer in 2011, but his fight for inclusion lives on. This race, now in its 12th year, continues to connect Spartans and Wolverines through every step. A day before the in-state showdown between Michigan and Michigan State, ROTC cadets from both schools ran side by side, covering 64 miles between East Lansing and Ann Arbor in Alex's great state race.
Continuing this race year after year is really important for expanding awareness around disability initiatives, around Alex's legacy, as we continue to have students and employees for that matter that have disabilities.
Beyond the miles and school pride, the race is about inclusion, raising awareness and funding for disability support services on both campuses.
It's also an opportunity to bring awareness just to disability in general, about inclusive practices, and let folks know in an arena like such as athletics that you don't often talk about disability, that this is a part of human nature, right?
New RCPD Director Alan Sheffield ran the race for the first time this year. He says the highlight moment was seeing MSU President Guskowitz and Athletic Director Batt join the runners for the final mile.
To have two schools come together for 12 years and be doing this on such a momentous occasion like the rivalry game, storied rivalry game, it just stays with you.
Sheffield says the resilience and competitive energy the cadets displayed during the run overnight and throughout the morning resembled traits Alex carried throughout his life and his battle against cancer.
They've been running, they've been in the dead of night. They were still they had an energy that I couldn't imagine. And so I think that speaks a lot to the strength of our students, regardless of the school.
Gambazi says virtual races are available all month online for all to participate and be a part of Alex's legacy. For more information on that, you can check out the Scene on 6 section of our website to learn more. Jorma, back to you.
Sean, thank you very much, and be sure to stay with 6 News on air, online, and through our 6 News app as we continue to bring you the latest on the lead up to the MSU U of M game. New at 6 News has learned, new at 5, 6 News has learned General Motors is cutting hundreds of jobs just days after raising its profit guidance for the year in a move that sent the shares soaring. The Detroit News is reporting that the automaker laid off more than 200 salaried staff, mostly at its technical center in Warren. The message was delivered around 7 a.m. when the company called some of the affected employees to a Slack channel to say that the firings were due to, quote, business conditions and not their performance. Earlier this week, GM reported better than expected earnings for the third quarter, sending its stock to its best one-day gain in more than 5 years.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We have spent most of our Friday afternoon and evening under some very dense lake effect cloud cover here in mid-Michigan. However, you will notice most of us are currently dry, the exception off to our north. Portions of Montcalm and Gratiot County still dealing with a couple of those lake effect sprinkles. Good news is we are going to be drying things out widespread across the entire lower peninsula as we go into the overnight hours tonight. Cloud cover will also be decreasing, partly cloudy conditions in the forecast, and that will allow our overnight lows to drop down into the mid to low 30s. We are staying dry just in time for the start of the weekend as well. On Saturday, we're going to be bouncing in between partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions throughout the entire day, so we're just going to call it variably cloudy for the entire day on Saturday. Good news is just in time for the game, no threat of any precipitation across our region. However, Saturday night into early Sunday morning, notice not a whole lot of activity on Precision Cast, so we're dealing with mostly clear conditions at night, and that will allow our overnight lows to drop down really close to the freezing mark across mid-Michigan. So it does look like we will be gearing up for our first widespread freeze of the season just in time for our Sunday. Good news is we'll balance that out with some mostly sunny conditions during the day. If you do plan on heading out to the big game tomorrow evening, definitely make sure that you bring along that jacket or a blanket or something to stay warm. As the game kicks off right around 7:30, our temperatures are going to be in the upper 40s, and since we are dealing with those mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, our temperatures are going to be dropping incredibly quickly. By the time the game ends, our temperatures are going to be in the low 40s across the region. Outside right now, we are dry. A couple of peaks of sunshine actually breaking through the cloud cover this evening here in Lansing. Temperature-wise, we're at 49 degrees. We still have to factor in a very slight wind chill temperature. Winds currently not that bad, however, out of the west at 6 miles per hour. Peak wind gusts in Lansing was right around that 12 mile per hour mark. In Jackson, 49 degrees for your current and high temperature. That means we only warmed around 10 degrees throughout the day because of all the dense cloud cover that we had in place. It was a similar situation in Hillsdale. 49 degrees, peak wind gusts of 13 miles per hour reported for our Friday. And our final stop up in St. John's, a little bit more in the way of sunshine over here. Temperatures 49 degrees, that peak wind gust 12 miles per hour. As we go throughout the overnight hours, again, partly cloudy skies, temperatures cooling down into the mid-30s, and then just in time for our Saturday, low 50s, slightly warmer compared to what we saw today, but still well below average for this time of year. That average high 57 degrees, so you will notice even as we move into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, highs warm into the mid-50s, but still generally we're going to be below average across the area. Cloud cover increases for Wednesday and Thursday. Now Thursday night into very, very, very early Friday morning, a couple of sprinkles will be possible. Looks like it moves out just in time for any trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, I know. We're all got our eyes on that Friday, don't we? Got a long way to go.
A long way to go. Still, as of right now, we're able to keep it fairly dry and relatively warm as well.
Relatively warm. All right, we'll take that. All right, coming up on 6 News at 5. An aircraft carrier is headed to the waters off South America. Plus, the government shutdown continues as workers face their first payless payday. Those stories are next. Stay right there. 6 News at 5. We'll be right back.